Bernard, good to see you. It's difficult times, of course, at the moment. And I suppose at the moment, the frustration for you is that you can't play football at the moment, can you?
Well, we are playing. We're still training, etc. We've had a couple of pre-season games. We've got not pre-season, friendly games, shall I say. We've got another one tomorrow. So they're hoping that some resolution will come about, hopefully next week, of a mini league or some sort of way to conclude the season, whether it's North and South teams joining together to make one league, that ones that want to play and can afford to play. If not, then furlough, playing with our thumbs and watching Netflix.
Right. So I want to talk about your career. Obviously, we're going to cover your time at Aldershot in depth, but you played football before you came to Aldershot, of course, and you came through the Watford Academy. Says here you signed professional forms in January 2011. What memories do you have of Watford, and how did that all arise?
Do you want me to start when I first joined the academy, or?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I
was playing for my local team, Old Isleworthians in Isleworth, West London, and the head of the club, Old Eyes, was Mark Stowe, who's a scout, and he was a scout at the time for Watford for the academy. I wasn't actually really good at football when I was younger. I'll drop this in there because it's one of my favourite stories. When I was about 8 or 9. My mum and dad sent me to play football with my mate at the team, Old Eyes, and they came and watched my first game, and I was so bad at football, literally so bad that one of the parents asked, "Oh, is that your son there?" And they said no, because I was that bad at football. So they disowned me. But I'm the type of person, if there's something that I'm not good at, I want to get better at it. So literally I carried on training hard and practicing. Even at home, we have this cage near where I live. It's like cage football. You play 5-a-side with your mates, and I was there every day. And ended up signing for Watford at 11 through Mark Stowe. I was in the development squad, and we played against the actual academy under 11s, and I think we drew 2-2, and I scored 2. And they signed me that very day. And from then, just kicked on and stayed at Watford till I was about 21,
I suppose Brentford would have been your local team, wouldn't it, to Isleworth?
Yeah, Brentford literally down the road. Always followed them as a kid, but luckily, Mark was obviously running the club and he snapped me up first. I could have moved a few times whilst I was at Watford to other clubs, but Watford at the time were known for producing players and giving young players an opportunity. So the best thing for me was staying there. So then, I got offered professional terms. I think I was 15 or 16. So quite young, because there was a bit of interest from other clubs. And decided to stay there and continue my development there.
And you got the opportunity, you made your debut for Watford you joined the first team squad at the start of the 2013-14 season.
Yeah, I was fully integrated by then, but I was training with them quite a bit from when I was 17, because I had a knee injury actually, which kept me out for a bit of my first year of scholarship. But then after that, I trained with the first team quite often. So I was in and out of the first team, but obviously playing youth team games, and then it was reserve games as well. But I was always in and around the first team, and fully joined up with them on a full-time basis once I turned 18, I think it was.
And what do you remember of your first team debut as a championship game as well?
Bolton at home. I think we were 1-0 down, and our manager was Gianfranco Zola, and he's gone to me, I'm coming on. And obviously you're kind of thinking, we're behind, need to do something special here. And I remember for corners, I got put in the near post zone, and I think I watched a game the week before where someone scored an own goal from that exact position. So he's gone literally near post, and he's come off the inside of his head and gone in. So I remember the first thing was being, let the ball go over my head. Please let the ball go over my head. I was standing there begging for the ball to go over my head. Went over my head and someone headed it, and I ran up the field as fast as I can just so I didn't score an own goal. It was a great experience though. I can't shut it down. And we lost the game obviously, but personally, obviously it was a good achievement for me. Obviously being at the academy so long as well. To make my debut was an achievement for me.
And then loan spell went to Braintree Town. So how did that materialise?
My agent messaged me. I wanted to play, obviously. I was in and around the first team, but we had such a big squad at the time. I think we had 30 plus players. I mean, it was a year the Pozos took over. So we had about 30 plus players, and I was in and around on the bench sometimes, not in the squad, training, etc. And I just wanted to play. And my agent was a good friend of Alan Devonshire, who was the Braintree manager at the time. And he said, look, you can go here, get men's football, literally get used to the physicality of men's football, because at the time, I think youth team football was too easy for me, and reserve football, there wasn't a lot of games. So it was just to get games under my belt. And I played, I can't remember how many I played quite a few games. I think I scored 2 or 3. But then I'd done my other knee, because I'd already done one knee, I'd done the other knee whilst at Braintree. So that got cut short.
And you had another loan before you left Watford. You had another loan spell at Barnet, which would have been the first time you would have linked up with Gary Waddock, of course.
Yes, that's how I know Wads. He was the assistant there to Martin Allen. So he went to Barnet. That was a good experience as well, because we were top of the league at the time, flying high. There was loads of experienced players, ex-players that played in the Championship, even the Premiership. And it was a good squad. And a lot of that squad are doing well. Jamal Lowe is at Swansea now. Andy Idem is, I think he's captain at Reading. So there's 3 or 4 players that were there that are now in the Championship or League One pushing up. So it was a good squad. Ended up winning the league there as well. I ended up getting called back to Watford before the season ended because there was a few injuries. But it was a great experience to be a part of a promotion, winning team, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, so at the end of the 2015-16 season, your time at Watford comes to an end. Was that what was the feelings in the first place of as a club you've been at for a number of years, and you were on the fringe, you broke into the first team, but you didn't get the opportunities to have a regular run in the first team?
Yeah, it was a bit sweet, I guess. I think at the time myself, I kind of knew it was best for me to leave. Just been promoted to the Premiership, had a season in the Premiership. You're thinking realistically, am I going to play? Because they'd signed quite a few players as well. The answer was no. So I was realistic in the sense that I knew I wasn't going to play. So there was no reason for me to stay any longer. And again, from their point of view, I could have stayed for another year and played 23s, but it wasn't beneficial in any way. I'd obviously been on loan a couple of times, so I knew what it was like to play men's football, and that's what I wanted to do. So I was always grateful to Watford for what they've done for me, how they've shaped me as a person and as a footballer. But I think I knew, and I think there was a few of us that left at that same moment. We all knew that we had to go play football and get experience, because I think I was 21 at the time. Young pup, you'd say, in football, or prospect. You have to get games under your belt, and like I said, I was realistic to know that that was the case at that time.
And so the opportunity comes with Aldershot. And firstly, how did that materialise? You said earlier, obviously, about Gary Waddock, but what did you know about Aldershot, and how did the deal start?
Gary Waddock rang me initially, saying he wanted to meet with me and my agent. So I met up with Wads and literally had a conversation for about an hour and a half. And literally just said, look, I believe you're a great player. Kind of told me what he wanted from me, where he saw me playing, on the left, on the right. And just said, look, you just need to play football. And for me, that's what I wanted to hear. I just needed to play football. I needed to go somewhere where I knew I was going to play 30, 40 games and try to develop as a player, because obviously beforehand I've been stunted by injuries and not playing in general in terms of at Watford because of the calibre of players that were there. So for me, that's what I needed to hear. I had a few other options, but working with Gary Waddock at Barnet stayed in my head, and he was one of the best coaches I'd had at the time. So for me, it was a no-brainer. Pretty local, only about 40 minutes from mine, half an hour, 40 minutes. So it was ideal. And he was building a team full of players that I've probably played against in the academies growing up. So there was quite a lot of young players involved. And yeah, it just sold me the whole project of Aldershot. In terms of what I knew of Aldershot, I didn't really know much. I'm not going to lie to you. I've I think I played there for Barnet when I was on loan there. And my dad used to be a train driver, South West Trains, and he drove past, and he said every time he drove past and there was a game on, he took the horn. Yeah, that's one of the main things I knew of Aldershot before I signed there, but it wasn't much. It was mainly the gaffer. I knew the fans were a decent bunch as well, because obviously when I played there with Barnet, you felt the atmosphere anyway. So I knew the club hadn't done well the last couple of seasons, but obviously Wad's been there before and done so well, wanted to do it again. So I had faith in him, and obviously he had faith in me.
We've lost a lot of footballs over that stand onto the train line over the years.
Yeah, a lot of them haven't been my fault. I'm sure it's most of the centre halves that have been playing that have booted it out of play. Yeah, I think when you play a team of the likes of Tranmere, a big club, massive club, and to them we're little Aldershot, it was a big shock for them to say, look, we're here, we're not, like, I think people probably thought they could come to Aldershot and take 3 points like it's a gimme.